there's these two major challenges to maternity dressing. There's how do you dress a different body type, and then there is how do you still feel like yourself. Hi, welcome back to Books and Bell. My name is Celeste and I make videos about slow fashion and simple living. Today I want to share with you basically the challenges and strategy that I have found around creating that maternity capsule wardrobe. Essentially, I am currently 8 months pregnant. I have been pregnant through the seasons of spring. Summer was my belly popping out second trimester, and I'm now having my third trimester in the fall. I am a person who loves my wardrobe, loves my personal style, knows the outfits that I like, and I've been thrown for a bit of the loop with the challenges of dressing a completely different body and still feeling like myself, and not introducing too many brand new items into my wardrobe, especially ones that either I'm never going to wear again because they're maternity specific, or I'm never going to wear again because they're just not me. How do you do this? How do you not buy too many things? If whether it's economically motivated, because there's so many other things that you're going to need to be spending that money on with a baby coming, or just the general, like, I don't want to add too much to my wardrobe, I don't want to consume too many things, which is a big motivating factor for me as well. I've broken up this video into regrets and must-haves, each of them kind of paired together. So the regrets are silhouettes or items that I thought would be really helpful for my maternity wardrobe, and the must-haves are the other side of that coin. They're the thing that it actually turned out I needed, and a lot of times that was a bit of a surprise. So I am hoping that this is going to be really helpful for those of you who maybe are trying to get pregnant, or you just found out you're pregnant and you haven't done this before, and you want to not make the same mistakes I made. But even if you have been pregnant before, I think there will hopefully still be some fun tips in here for you to learn. And I hope it's interesting to anyone who is even thinking about how they might dress when pregnant one day, even if that's not so close on the horizon for you. So I think there's essentially two major challenges when it comes to dressing a pregnant body. One is you have a totally different silhouette now that does not involve a waist, and so you have to figure out how you are either going to, wear things that aren't about the waist because they're just like long bodycon dresses, or if you are dressing in separates, you're going to have to figure out how you're coming down over that bump all the way to the bottom, or what you're doing to bring things above the bump, so that essentially that place where your bottom is meeting your top in your outfit has been completely disrupted. And that makes it really difficult to continue to wear the pieces that you already had in your wardrobe, all those separates that you already had in your wardrobe. For me in particular, I'm not a huge dresses person, and I am a huge jeans person. I love high-waisted jeans, and because of that, I have a lot of tops that are shorter and end up not working so well once you have the bump. Then obviously the jeans themselves aren't working once I have the bump either, and so that took a huge portion of the things that I wear every day, and it put them on hold. At the same time, one of the things that's easiest to wear when you're pregnant is dresses, and not only do I not have a ton of dresses in my wardrobe already, but I don't always feel like myself in dresses, and so my big challenge was, what are a few items that I can add into my wardrobe that will help me pair, make various tops and bottoms that I already have work with the bump in new ways that I wouldn't have worn them before, and then also trying to still feel like myself. So I feel like ultimately there's these two major challenges to maternity dressing. There's how you dress a different body type, and then there is how do you still feel like yourself if you are wearing very different silhouettes and types of things than you normally wear. And that's kind of where I'm coming from with all of these challenges and what I want to address while I talk about the regrets and the must-have items to add to your maternity wardrobe. So the first mistake that you need to not make is to go out and stock up on a ton of maternity jeans. Now, for me, maternity jeans were a huge temptation because, like I said, I'm a big jeans person ordinarily, and I didn't want to buy too many pairs because obviously I can only wear them during maternity, so you're not going to waste a bunch of money and materials and everything else on that. But I knew that I needed to have a couple pair because I knew that I was going to want to wear those every single day, just like in my ordinary life I wear jeans every single day. Now, it turns out the maternity jeans are the worst. They are really difficult. There are a few challenges that come up, and what I have for you here to show you is the two basic styles. You have your over-the-bump maternity jeans, where they just sort of become tights at the top, and you pull this whole thing up over your bump. And then you have your under-the-bump maternity jeans, which are essentially like a low-rise jean. So they have this really short little button fly, and then they've added in these elastic panels, and this entire thing sits underneath your bump, so you have to wear it with a top that is long enough to cover your bump and the top of your jeans. Whew boy, both of these came with their own challenges for me. There may be some people who find that the under the bump jeans fit well as is without a belt or anything, but for me, they were constantly trying to slide off my hips because they were low cut and had these elastic inserts. They just did not want to stay up. There was nothing for them to hold on to because they were lower than my hip bone. So I found that I could only wear them with a belt and putting the belt under the bump, which was okay comfortable toward the beginning of the second trimester, but eventually really just stopped being comfortable. And so these have definitely been a regret for me. The over-the-bump jeans have worked better, but they come with their own challenge, and that is basically the fact that you have to cover up this elastic part with whatever you're wearing. And the elastic part goes really, really low so that it can encapsulate your whole bump. So you still have to wear these only with tops that are coming all the way down over that whole bump, and that's pretty limiting, especially if you're a person who, like me, previously wore all high-waisted jeans, and so a lot of the tops in your wardrobe are just not going to be that long. So, lots of challenges with the jeans situation. I still think if you love wearing jeans every day, it's worth having one or two pair of the over bump jeans, just because like you are going to want to wear them a lot just to feel like yourself, but they are going to be one of the more difficult things to wear. So if maternity jeans are the regret, what should you buy instead? Or wear instead if you already have it in your wardrobe, hopefully, and that is elastic waisted pants. Elastic waisted pants are going to be so much easier because you can roll down the elastic waist to hit under your bump, and I've found that for me that works a lot better than the under bump jeans because you can still sort of hike the back of them up above your hip bone, and you kind of just create your own custom sort of like where you want that waistband to lie. And for me, that worked better than the under bump jeans in terms of like it wasn't constantly trying to slip off of me because it wasn't so low-waisted, so low-rise. So there's that, and then there's also the fact that I already had a few different pairs in my wardrobe, so that was something that I did not have to go out and buy brand new. If you're a person who wears leggings a lot, I'm sure you'll find the same thing with leggings. They will work well in pregnancy, and you don't have to go out and buy any new ones. The ones that you have will already work. So elastic waist pants and leggings are great in terms of pants. The next must-have, and you really just gotta embrace it, I think, is bodycon dresses and skirts. These are the last things in the world that I was wearing before I got pregnant. I like boxy things like the sweater, I like jeans. I didn't wear a ton of dresses and skirts to begin with, and I certainly did not wear a lot of fitted, tight, hugging things generally. That's just not my style. But with this bump, especially in the second trimester, when you're really excited about your bump popping, and you also might, feel like in some of your baggier clothes, you look like you're holding on to some extra weight, but you're not clearly pregnant. When you bring in your silhouette and you hug that bump, it just looks so beautiful. It's really exciting to walk around and be noticeably pregnant for the first time, and I mean, I found that it made me really excited about my body. I was wearing something that was like clinging to my stomach, which is not something I would normally wear, and my stomach is not a part of my body that I normally feel like is worth showing off. But with this bump, suddenly it was like I really enjoyed just wearing these really fitted, stretchy things. They are comfortable. Like I said, they flatter a bump, and they're just really easy to wear, whether you've got that early bump that you want to show off, or as you get bigger and bigger and bigger, they just keep stretching, and they're going to fit you all the way through your whole pregnancy. So I have a couple skirts and a couple dresses, and I found them to be excellent. You can get the kind that are specifically made for pregnancy. This skirt, you can see that it has this sort of line cut into it. It's made for maternity. This one is not. They both work perfectly fine. I don't think there's any need to get the kinds that are made specifically for maternity personally. Dresses are the same kind of way. This striped one I have has the ruching detail right where the bump is, which is really nice and flattering and everything, but this kind, which doesn't have it and is not maternity specific, it really fits me almost just as well. There's hardly any difference. And of course, this has the added benefit that if I do want to continue to wear this style at all postpartum, I can wear this and it's not going to look like a maternity dress, whereas anything with the ruching, unfortunately, like, it looks really beautiful when you're pregnant, but it's really not going to extend into that postpartum wardrobe. Now, the other thing about the bodycon skirts in particular, I think these are such a great piece for extending the life of other items in your wardrobe into pregnancy. So the dresses are great. The skirts, I would say, are even more vital if you're only going to go out and buy like one bodycon thing because you think, I'm never going to wear this when I'm not pregnant. I would go get a really good skirt. The black one that I have has been wonderful. And that is because I hike it up over my bump, and then I take any of the t-shirts that are too short to wear normally with the bump, anything that's too boxy to wear with the bump, basically anything that I wouldn't ordinarily be able to wear with the bump, I suddenly can wear. So I take my t-shirts and I tie them in a little knot up top, and I create this, waist illusion at that on-pier level. And so suddenly all of these shirts that were not long enough to wear with, say, elastic waist pants or maternity jeans, because the skirt comes above the bump, I can wear it with these pieces that I have in my wardrobe that I love, that reflect my personal taste, and that are just something that I have, so that's fewer items that you might have to go out and buy. So it's really, I think, a matter of looking at what you already have and how you can pair the things that you're bringing in with that. So I would say if you have a lot of longer tops already, then going out and getting yourself a couple good pairs of maternity jeans makes a lot of sense. If you don't have any of those longer tops, then I feel like a skirt where you can tie the tops that you do have up higher is going to extend the life of those things in your wardrobe more. So those would be my tips for like figuring out whether you're gonna pull that waist down to the bottom of the bump or up to the top of the bump, and then extend the life of the things that you already have in your wardrobe based on that. So the first regret is too many pairs of maternity jeans and all their false promises, and the must-haves instead are elastic waist pants and bodycon dresses and skirts. Now the next regret is boxy blouses and tees. This isn't exactly a regret because it's not something I bought more of, but it is a challenge or a mistaken expectation, and I want to make sure that you don't go out there and actually add boxy things to your wardrobe thinking that they're going to help you through pregnancy. So here are a couple of my favorite tops that I wore before I was pregnant. This Everlane square tee, which is a beautiful little drop shoulder cut. It's not cropped or anything, but it's not particularly long. And then the Everlane square silk blouse, which I also love. It has an even more dramatic boxy shape, and it comes down to the top of the hip, about the same length as the t-shirt. I have a couple of those in my wardrobe, and I have a lot of things similar to them, and while they were great for the end of that first trimester when I had not told my boss I was pregnant yet, but I was starting to show, they worked great for that, but very quickly they became too short to cover the bump, and there was sort of a combination of things going on here. For one thing, I couldn't wear my regular jeans anymore, but the maternity jeans, whether I was wearing the under the bump ones or the over the bump ones, they really needed a longer top because the under the bump ones are low rise, and so I was going to actually be showing skin if I wore anything too short. And the over the bump ones have the elastic on top, and that goes really, really low down basically to where a low rise jean would be. And so again, you need something long to cover it. So a lot of these tops, they're just not long enough. You think you're gonna want something boxy to cover that bump, but actually the bump doesn't make you that much bigger around. It's really that length that you need. And then in terms of what looks flattering as well, and just what makes you, I mean, I struggle with this idea of flattering because I don't think that we should have to dress in things that are flattering, and I certainly don't always feel the desire to wear things that are flattering. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, for me at least, while I've been pregnant, I have wanted to look pregnant. I haven't wanted to just wear things that will fit. I like showing that bump. I like wearing the fitted things. Now that I'm so big, I'm in my third trimester, I have all of these boxy sweaters, and I'm hoping that I'm gonna feel better about wearing them because I am so big that you kind of can still see the bump underneath it. But also, this is just what I have. And I'm at the beginning of fall right now, so I will report back later on, whether these ended up being a great fall staple or whether I ultimately wanted more of those fitted t-shirts and cardigans to continue to show off the bump through fall. But my point is, these boxy things, they may fit over the bump, but they don't show off the bump. And then ultimately, if they're not long enough, they also are not going to work with the maternity jeans, and they're not going to work with your kind of folded down waistband pants situation. So you need something longer, and you probably want something more fitted, honestly. So my must-have is fitted tees and tanks that are long enough, and I have a couple examples here. Again, you can really go with things that are specifically for maternity or not. I got a couple of these with the ruched sides, and they look really beautiful with the bump. I especially like wearing these when the bump was really small and I needed something that was telling the world, look at me, I'm pregnant, this is a tiny little bump, it's a baby, not a burrito. Once it started to be real clear that I was pregnant, I looked super pregnant even in something like a normal t-shirt. So when I had that tiny bump, this had a little more positive ease on it, and I needed the really tight shirt with the ruching to show the bump and to cup under the bump. Now that I'm further along, basically all of my t-shirts that aren't super boxy are fitting really, really fitted on me. And so they look great with the bump as well, which is good, but you still need that extra length there. I know I said you need something longer, but the other way you can go with this is you can go crop top, which is also super fun. So you can't wear it with jeans and your fold down pants and everything unless you wear a longer tank underneath, which you know you can do. But these work great with the bodycon dresses and skirts that I talked about earlier. So essentially this is one that I made myself. I knitted this, and PSA, do not store your knitwear on a hanger. I just have this on here for the video so I can show you guys. But as you can see by these creases in it, it lives folded up in my drawer, which is what you should do to your knitwear, especially your beautiful investment knitwear that you want to last a long time. Okay, off my soapbox. So I made this. This is a cute little crop. It ends right where my bump starts, so I like to wear it with the bodycon dresses and skirts, and essentially it creates the illusion of a waist up there at that on-pier level above the bump, which is really, really fun. And then the great thing about this as well is you can continue to wear things like this with high-waisted skirts and denim postpartum, and you might already have some in your wardrobe from prepartum from wearing that way. So you just kind of adjust the way that you wear them. You're not going to have high-waisted jeans, but you can have those high-waisted skirts, and you can wear it over top of dresses. So crop tops, a surprising win for the pregnancy wardrobe. Quick review again, that second regret is boxy tees and blouses, and the must-have alternatives are crop tops and fitted tees that are long enough to cover the entire bump. So it is time for our third and final regret, and that is jumpsuits. I do not have an example to share with you here, but that is because this was the biggest regret of my attempt at a pregnancy wardrobe. This was something that I went out and I purchased in a maternity store, well, at a website, and I paid too much for it, and I wore it a couple times, and you guys, it was cute, it was not practical, and ultimately I realized it wasn't going to be that cute postpartum. So it was this jumpsuit. I will insert a photo that had this wrap aspect to it, which looks really, really, really cute with a bump. And I thought it was going to look cute postpartum as well. That's sort of how it was designed, is that it could be both. Ultimately, my regret about this particular item is, you know, somewhat multifaceted, because the quality was not what I expected it to be for the price, and it didn't, I thought, look as cute without the bump as I wanted it to. So, you know, there's like sort of multiple things that were going on with this item in particular. However, I do think this is a good learning opportunity for everyone, because generally speaking, I think jumpsuits are probably not a great option when you are pregnant. And that is because you will have to pee a lot. So jumpsuits that fit maternity, that are either, you know, you could make it work for maternity or it's designed for maternity, do they look cute in the same way the dresses do, in that you don't have to worry about the waist, and, you know, they sort of hug the bump and the whole thing is adorable? Like, yes, absolutely. But they are not as practical as dresses are, because every time you have to go to the restroom, you can't just hike it up. You have to sort of undo it and bring it all the way down. And then in addition to that, you're going to have a fair number of doctor's appointments. I made the mistake of wearing this jumpsuit to maybe my second doctor's appointment, where I was I knew that I wasn't getting an ultrasound because I'd already had my first ultrasound, but I had not, you know, it was like my second appointment, and so I didn't realize that they were going to need to see my bump every single time to do the Doppler for the heartbeat. So here I was in a jumpsuit. I had to have my doctor go out of the room and pull it down and put on the sort of papery hospital robe type modesty thing, and then he could come back into the room also that he could access my belly, which yes would also be an issue with a dress, so don't wear those to doctor's appointments either, but just another impracticality. The jumpsuit didn't work for the doctor's appointments and was super annoying to wear when I was going to the restroom 3 times as often as I normally would. What is it that is like a jumpsuit but actually works so much better for maternity and is something, in fact, that you can wear to a doctor's office because you pull it down and you've already got a shirt under there? Overalls, guys! The answer to everything! Overalls! Here are the 3 pairs of overalls that I have been wearing through my pregnancy, and there's a couple different options here. So, these are made specifically for pregnancy. They look like normal overalls, but they have the elastic insert here at the waist. This seam also has been sewn at a bit of a curve, like on that bodycon skirt I showed you, to accommodate the bump. And so these were one of the pregnancy-only items that I did pick up. As with the jeans, I felt like I definitely needed something like this, even if I would not be able to wear them postpartum because they're too obviously maternity with the elastic and everything. Because much like jeans, overalls are something that I wear every day. If I'm not wearing jeans, I wear overalls. So they make me feel like myself, and I have gotten a ton of wear out of these during my pregnancy, so I do not regret that even a little bit. They look incredibly cute with the bump, they're easy to wear and comfortable, and at the same time they actually make me feel like I'm still expressing my sense of style the way that it was before this lack of a waist threw me for a loop and made me have to reinvent all these silhouettes that I wear. So that's been great, and I love that as an investment. However, if you are not feeling buying some overalls that are just going to be for maternity, there are a couple other options, and here's some of the ones that I have in my wardrobe. These are just oversized to begin with. They have always fit as like a big baggy overall on me, and so they still can accommodate my bump, although they're just starting to get too tight here at 8 months. So I'm not going to be able to wear those all the way through the 9 months the way that I will with the maternity overalls. Another thing is regular overalls that do have the fasteners at the sides, the buttons that undo at the sides. You might be able to get away with those pretty far into your pregnancy and maybe even through the 9th month. You can adjust the shoulder straps on standard overalls, and so that gives you more room in the bump area, and then if you just start unbuttoning them at the side, that should give you more room there. I just didn't happen to have any of those in my wardrobe because the standard overalls that I have are fitted and they just have a zipper on one side, so if you unzip them it looks weird, but the standard kind that button on both sides, I think you could get away with those. So that's another thing, but I don't have an example to show you. And then there are these, which is a pair of jersey overalls, so something nice and stretchy, which much like a jersey dress or a jersey skirt or any of those bodycon things, is just going to grow with you and fit you pre, during, and post-pregnancy. So the other great thing about overalls is much like the high-waisted jersey skirt, this is another way to extend the life of tops that you normally would not be able to wear over your bump because they're not long enough to wear with something like maternity jeans or an elastic waist pair of pants that you folded down below your bump. With the overalls, because they come up a little bit higher, you can just sort of cheat that. And so I've been able to wear all kinds of things like the Everlane box cut shirt, t-shirt that I showed you. That's the kind of thing that like I still can wear that pregnant, but basically like with overalls, because the overalls come up high enough that you don't realize that the shirt isn't really covering the whole bump. So to recap, that third regret is jumpsuits, and the must-have alternative is overalls, whether they be overalls that are made specifically for pregnancy or overalls that you can cheat for pregnancy. Definitely 2 thumbs up, recommended for your pregnancy wardrobe. If you found this video valuable and you think other people should know that, make sure you click the like button, because it helps me out so much and it helps other people find my content. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I would love it if you did, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.